Hey there YouTube, AJ here. And if you've been following along with my recent videos, and I hope you have been, you know I've been working on getting my rear end into my frame of my hot rod. And long story short, it took a lot more coordination of different smaller projects than I was kind of planning on or expected. And I ended up breaking it down into chunks. Well, this is another chunk. This video, I'm going to be breaking down my rear brakes so I can see what all in them I can save and what new parts I'm going to need, and then so I can assemble them so I can actually finally get this rear end kind of completely together and get the back end of my hot rod frame on the ground. So without much more, let's just dive straight into the disassembly and restoration of early 40s Ford hydraulic brakes. Part 1. Alright, so I ran out of brake cleaner, so I can't get these less grimy. And so we're going to start taking these apart. I want to record this so I know how they go back together. We're going to start with this one because it seems to be more complete. These clips have already come off in the drum removal process. So we're going to learn on this one, which was the left rear, I think. Alright, so let's see what we can see here. So first thing I can see here, hopefully you can too, this piece has one piece of wire all the way through it to here. And this side has two little U-shaped ones. I don't think that's a big deal, but somebody obviously was in here and did something. Okay, that cam adjuster there, cam adjuster there. Okay, got it. Alright, so this is right rear, left rear. This, I assume, is the parking brake actuator. That makes sense that this would be to the backside because the cable would come in through here, through this little divot, I'm assuming, and hook into this and pull it forward to activate the parking brake. Alright, that makes sense. Look at that, it works even. I might be able to clean these parts up and actually use them. I don't know, we'll see. Probably have to rebuild the cylinders though. So, yeah, this one worked too. Ooh, this one's a little stickier. It moves a little, but it's sticky. Alright, we got little tiny clips up here that need to be removed to pull these off. This is kind of bent out of shape, but it's there. We got these clips, which I don't know. Looks like they hold the shoes down. We got little divots here. Alright. This doesn't look too tough. I think we're good. Let's get to it.
I don't know how you're supposed to remove these, but that's not going to do it. Oh, that was easy enough. Right. Grab hold, pull up. Makes sense. Alright, now.
You ever notice when you want a straight screwdriver, you can't find it? When you want a Phillips, you can't find that?
I just bent the clip out. Woo! Alright, so there's that one. Might have to actually break down by new clips. These kind of bent out of shape. Maybe you're supposed to, I don't know. This one. Yeah, I'm not sure if those are supposed to be like that in benders. But that's how they're going. Maybe that's what they're supposed to do. Alright, so wash your own hands. Feel free to comment down below if I need a different tool for this kind of stuff. I don't know. It's coming. Come on. There we go. Yeesh! One more of those missing. Maybe I should take it out too, but we'll do that after I get this. That one just popped off. Popped over. Right. So maybe those are meant to like go around and bend down manually. I thought it was like a spring clip, but maybe not. Alright, so let's get these off then. there's that one. These. Put them straight at the bottom. This seems like a better way to go. It's also heavier wire. Alright. Tippy-tappy. Okay. Now, one would think these plates will pop off. The whole assembly wants to come loose. There we go. A little persuasion. Does not appear to be directional, but okay. This one. It's almost there. Alright, so this plate at the bottom holds in the adjuster cams. Oh, there's a washer on that. Oh, wait a minute. Alright, so this one had a spring washer and a washer on top of it in here. Is this one? Hang on. That is not the case on this side, but this is higher. I'm wondering if that's in the wrong place, because this one won't move. If it was supposed to be under it. So that's a... Okay, doesn't make sense that if you pull these clips off, that these things should come up. Alright, hang on, we're gonna get something grippy with. Spring behind here. Let's see, if we pop that spring loose. Can we pop that spring loose? I just feel like this should come off. We'll see. Yeah, oh wow, we got stuff happening now. So, what I did there was popped the bottom off of the adjuster, and it just rolled right out. Look at that. Okay, we got separation. That was easy. Alright, so we got spring. What did I say this was? Trailing shoe, leading shoe. And that pops right off. Okay. Let's see if that washer is in here. Alright, so that's an issue. This arm did not have that washer and spring washer. So something's different, so something's going on there. I don't know if these cams come off or not, how this works. What it is. These are the adjuster cams. These are just the pivot points of the shoe. Alright, so while we're working here, let's see. We'll just go ahead and take these. Oh, no, let's do this at the same time. Got this one. Got this one. Oh, of course this one wants to fight. Yeah, something's... This one's either rusty or sticky or something's going on. It does not want to come apart nice and easy like the other one. Alright. We have our spring out. We have our shoes out. That one came apart. Where's the coil? See if we can't get this moving a little bit now. Alright, it's moving. It's definitely moving a lot better. Now we just gotta get it off the pin. The pin is also pivoting. Let's see. Let's see if we can add a little upward pressure here. Does not want to come off. I think it's coming. Nope. The problem is, the arm is moving the pin as well. I don't want to hit it too hard because I will bend it. Alright, we're gonna set this aside for now. I'll work that later off camera. It's gonna take some effort to get that out. Nope. There we go. We have a bolt and a washer to 1. Bolt and a washer 2. A bolt and a washer 3. Alright, let's put those back in. Ooh, those are still tight. That washer broke. That'll have to be replaced. Oh, wait a minute. Ah, that came off. There's that one. Alright. See if I can get these off as well. That one came off easy. Alright.
I think at this point, looking at these, I'm just going to try to clean all these up right now, and then we'll go from there. These are my wheel cylinders. I'm going to try to save them. And I pulled this first cup off, and it's pretty nasty inside. And I don't know if you can see this, all this powder. I think that is what's left of my the piston in there. I think they've just they're completely shot.
So, what it's gonna do.
Look at that, that does not want to come out. It's pretty corroded in there. Wow, I thought the rubber would break long before it would hold like that.
This will get it pulled out, or if it'll just tear it. I will give it a shot. So what I'm trying to do.
Ugh. All right, so that one tore. Let's see what we got on this other one. Well, that one came off, but look inside. Pretty nasty. This one's very rusty.
It's gonna tear. That's more about what I was expecting.
So you can see 2 came out. They're really gross in there. 2, the rubber boot stuck, and they're also really gross in there. So what we're gonna do is we take out all these bolts. We'll throw everything in to the evapor rust. Let them soak for a week or so, maybe more, who knows. I tend to forget about them once they're in there. Put the cap on it, and we'll let that sit for a week or so and see what happens. All right, so I have soaked these in Evaporust and cleaned out as much crud as I can. I have also sprayed them down with Croil to try to get some penetrating fluid in there. And I have also filled them full of brake fluid and poured brake fluid in to try to get everything all lubricated up. Now I'm draining that out because I want to take them to the press, and we're going to try to use sockets to press out the pistons. When you look at the wheel cylinder, you'll see that one side is larger than the other. This piston is smaller than this one. So what we're going to try to do is, first thing, I'm going to try to break the big one free by pressing it in, and then turn it over to break the small one free. And overall, we'll be trying to press the small one all the way through to push out all the other stuff. So there's a spring in there and seals, whatever. But anyway, that's the gist. Hey, that moved pretty easy. Okay, so that one's free and moving. That's good. Alright, so stuff's moving. Okay, so before we try to push this through, I got a smaller socket to do that with. We're going to see if we can break the other one free first. And it's moving. That's great. Now let's see if we can get the small one to break free. I'm going to use this big socket here to sit the bigger side in, and that'll allow me to push the piston in here out, and hopefully the spring and other pieces on out this side. The idea is hopefully this will catch all the parts without them flying around. There they all went. As you can see, everything's out. The edges of these pistons are pretty bad. They're kind of corroded and gone. I'm hoping I can just like smooth those out and reuse these and rebuild the cylinders. There she went. All right, there's number 2. Straight through. Spring, seal, piston. Now we got to clean all these up and see if we can salvage it. I've got preliminary cleaning done on all the parts here, and this is what our wheel cylinders look like. They're actually pretty simple. You have the main bodies, and then you have a large piston, a seal cup, spring, seal cup, and then the small piston. All that goes inside the bore. You have your bleeder valve, which goes in this opening here. Then this is the fitting that goes on the brake line that goes in here. The bores actually look pretty good on these. They're not that pitted, so I think these will clean up just fine. Before I clean the bores though, I'm going to go ahead and clean up the rest of the body a little better and paint them so they look nice. Once the paint dries, I'll use a hone to clean the bores out and smooth them out. Then while the paint's drying, I'll be able to work on these cylinders and clean them up. And this one actually looks pretty good overall, and it's got a slight corrosion on this rim here. This one, as you can see, has got more corrosion on the rim. The smaller ones did not fare as well. I think this is the worst one out of the whole bunch. And you can see that it's all tore up. This smaller one definitely isn't as bad. I'll clean off all these surfaces so they're nice and clean and smooth. And then the edges that have corroded, I will take and file these down to where they're uniform height all the way around. I don't think that's going to be an issue. Most of the sealing should be done by the cup, and then basically, you know, the piston is more or less to keep it straight in line in the bore. And I think even with that filed down to that point there, these will still have enough body to do their job correctly. So I think we can save this whole shooting works here. I won't be reusing these cups and the springs. I have a new kit that has new spring, new piston cups, new seals on the outside, the boots. So all of that I'll be using all new parts for that. So basically, you know, these will go away, these will go away. And I will probably try to reuse these old ferrules. These will be fine. I reuse these for the steel lines. The bleeder valves, I am not going to be reusing those. Instead, I'm going to be using these Russell speed bleeders, which have like a one-way valve in them, and it allows you to bleed the brake systems by yourself. I've used these on other vehicles with great success. I really like them, and so I'm going to go ahead and use those. When I go to bleed the brakes, we'll go over these a little more. So now, a little more cleaning, some painting, and before we can reassemble everything. Okay, there you have it. That was the breakdown and analysis process I went through on the rear brakes for my hot rod here. I know I filmed that kind of in detail, but there was a reason behind that, and basically so I can use it for myself as a guide to reassemble them back into the rear end. I did notice some things in there that where previous brake jobs weren't quite done standard. I've been reviewing, you know, what I pulled out of my rear end versus like Ford part drawings and things, and mine was missing some pieces, and mine had some extra pieces that weren't in there. So I'm gonna have to fix what shouldn't have been there, replace some stuff that should be, and just get them all back the way to where they originally meant to be. But we're not going to do that now. That's going to be the next video. So until then, YouTube, later.